For decades, the circular economy has been this fantastic idea that just never quite seemed to work in the real world. But what if the missing pieces were finally here? Today, we're going to dive into how AI is finally closing the loop and making a truly circular economy not just a dream, but a reality.
So let's just start with the core problem, right? Everybody loves the idea of a circular economy. No waste, endless value. It sounds perfect. But in practice, whoa, it's been a logistical nightmare. We're talking mixed materials, broken supply chains, and a whole lot of good intentions just going completely wrong.
And this really lays it all out, doesn't it? On the left, that's the economy most of us know. It's a one-way ticket from the factory straight to the landfill. But on the right, that's the dream, this continuous loop where nothing is wasted. The big question has always been, how in the world do you actually manage a loop that complex?
Okay, so what changed? What are these missing pieces? Well, it really boils down to two key technologies. First, you've got AI as the engine. This is the raw processing power you need to make sense of all that complexity. And then you've got the data glue, which is something called a digital product passport, or DPP. Just think of it like a digital birth certificate that follows a product its entire life, holding all the data about what it's made of and what to do with it.
So when you put this engine and this glue together, you create this incredibly powerful system. And it operates in three interconnected loops. First, how a product is designed. Second, how it's actually used. And third, how its materials are recovered at the end. You get these three right and boom, you've closed the circle.
So let's jump into that first loop, which is honestly the most important one, design. Because think about it, if you create something that can't be repaired or recycled, the loop is broken before it even gets a chance to start. The goal here is to create products that are, born circular.
And this is where you see the first absolutely massive shift. We are moving from guesswork to certainty. In the olden days, a designer would just kind of hope their materials were sustainable, maybe wait 6 months for some big environmental report. Now, with AI, they can run a what-if simulation on their material choices in about 6 seconds. Total game changer.
So what this really means is that designers are not flying blind anymore, not at all. They can use generative AI to literally invent brand new sustainable materials. I mean, things like self-healing biopolymers. And then, with these dynamic simulations, they can see the entire life cycle impact of swapping one tiny component for another instantly, right there inside their design software.
All right, so once a product is designed and it's out there in the world, we hit the second loop, keeping it in use. This is all about maximizing its value for as long as humanly possible. In other words, this is the direct, head-on fight against planned obsolescence.
And you can see the huge mindset shift here. We are ditching that old break-fix model, where you just wait for something to fail and then you toss it. The new model is all about predict and prevent, where an autonomous AI agent is basically a guardian angel for the product, constantly monitoring its health to solve problems before they even happen.
And here's how it works. You've got sensors on the product feeding data to a machine learning model that can predict a failure weeks in advance. But here's the real magic. An AI agent then takes that prediction, reads the product's digital passport to find the exact part number, checks the inventory, and automatically schedules a repair, often before you, the owner, even know there's a problem.
And the impact of this is just staggering. This is not a small improvement, folks. We are talking about a system that can potentially triple a product's useful lifespan, taking it from just 5 years up to 15. That is a huge leap in value and a massive, massive reduction in waste.
But hey, nothing lasts forever. Even after 15 great years, every product eventually reaches its end. So what happens then? Well, that brings us to our final loop, the recovery revolution, where we truly close the loop for good.
The old way was a total mess of what we call wish cycling, right? We all do it, we throw things in the blue bin and just hope for the best, which usually leads to contaminated materials that get downcycled or just thrown out. The new solution, though, uses that digital product passport as a perfect instruction manual for robotic recyclers. And the result is you completely transform waste from a liability into a high-value asset. An AI robot just scans the DPP so it knows exactly what the product is made of. Then it uses computer vision to sort everything with surgical precision into these pure, high-grade materials. The AI can even manage the logistics to make it easier for you to return an item than it is to just trash it. Think about that for a second.
Now, you might be sitting there thinking, this all sounds a little bit like science fiction, but it's not. In fact, for some of the world's biggest industries, this is about to become mandatory. It's the law. You don't have to look any further than the EU's battery passport mandate. This law actually requires that batteries have a digital product passport that contains data for all three of the loops we just talked about, from proof of recycled content in its design to real-time health data while it's being used, all the way to disassembly instructions for its recovery. It's all in there.
And this isn't some far-off future pipe dream. The first phase of these requirements is set to kick in around 2026. This makes the AI-powered circular system a very real, here-and-now business reality.
And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? This three-loop system, it's not a future trend anymore. It's quickly becoming the mandatory foundation for any modern, compliant, and, let's be honest, profitable business.
So this brings the question back to you. If you look at your own work or your own company's products, which of these three loops is the weakest link? Where's the break? Is it in the initial design? Is it in how the product is used and maintained? Or is it what happens at the very, very end?
And let's push that thinking even a bit further. Forget just being more efficient. How could that AI engine, that agent that schedules repairs, let you create a whole new service-based business, a product as a service model instead of just a one-time sale? What could you do with that?
Because ultimately, that's the fundamental shift here. That's the big takeaway. In this new circular economy, the most valuable products, they aren't the ones you just sell and forget about. Not anymore. They are the ones you design from day one with the intention that they will come back.